Imagine looking up at the sky and seeing massive, shimmering rings stretching across the heavens. Instead of a dark night sky, we'd have an ever-present celestial wonder, glowing in soft silver, blue or pink hues. How would Earth change if it had rings like Saturn? Would our climate, culture, and even space travel be different? Let's embark on this cosmic thought experiment and explore what life would be like on a ringed Earth. If Earth had rings, they would be one of the most stunning sights in our sky. Unlike the moon, which moves across the night sky, the rings would remain nearly fixed in place, towering above us like a cosmic halo. Depending on where you lived, they would appear differently. Near the equator, they would stretch as a thin, bright arc across the sky, while closer to the poles, they might form a full, glowing circle. At sunrise and sunset, the rings could reflect warm, golden hues, making them even more breathtaking. At night, they would illuminate the darkness, casting an eerie glow across landscapes, making true nightfall almost impossible in some regions. Cities might require less artificial lighting, and long-exposure night photography would capture dazzling sights unlike anything we see today. Saturn's rings are mostly ice, reflecting sunlight beautifully, but Earth's rings would likely be different. Being closer to the sun, ice wouldn't last. It would either melt or be vaporized by solar radiation. Instead, Earth's rings would likely be composed of rock and dust, much like the asteroid belt. These rings could have originated from a cataclysmic event, perhaps a collision with a giant asteroid or even a shattered moon from Earth's past. Over time, gravitational forces would have shaped the debris into the thin, delicate bands we'd see from the surface. The rings would evolve, forming intricate gaps and waves due to the pull of Earth's gravity and interactions with the moon. Rings wouldn't just be beautiful, they would also change Earth's climate. Depending on their density and position, they could block sunlight, casting shadows on different parts of the planet. Some regions might receive less direct sunlight, leading to cooler temperatures, while others could experience more diffuse lighting, altering weather patterns and seasonal cycles. Solar energy production would be affected. Areas under the rings might not get enough direct sunlight, while other regions might receive extra light bouncing off the ring particles. Plant life could adapt to these changes, leading to unique ecosystems that differ from the ones we know today. Rings would create serious obstacles for space exploration. Every time we launched a rocket, it would have to navigate through billions of small but fast-moving debris particles. These objects, though tiny, could move at speeds of thousands of kilometers per hour, posing a danger to satellites and spacecraft. In such a world, our satellite network might look very different. GPS, communications, and weather monitoring systems would have to be carefully placed in orbit to avoid the most dangerous ring regions. The International Space Station, as we know it, might not exist, or it would have to be built far above the rings, adding complexity to human spaceflight. The view of the rings would depend on your location. If you lived along the equator, they would appear as a stunning, thin arch across the sky, visible day and night. From the north and south poles, they would form a full, glowing circle, surrounding the sky in an unbroken halo. Seasons and time of year would change how they appeared. During some months, the sun might align perfectly with the rings, making them shine brilliantly. At other times, the rings might seem to fade, blending into the deep blues of the sky. If Earth had rings, what would happen to the moon? There are two possibilities. Either Earth never formed a moon, or the two would coexist, affecting each other's orbits. If both existed together, the moon's gravity would likely create gaps in the rings, just like Saturn's small moons do. Over millions of years, the moon might disturb the rings, pushing them outward or causing sections to break apart. In the far future, Earth's rings might gradually disappear as their material is pulled toward the planet or lost to space. Had Earth always had rings, human culture might have evolved very differently. Ancient civilizations used the moon and stars for navigation, mythology, and timekeeping. If rings had been present, They would have influenced religion, storytelling, and even scientific discoveries. They could have served as natural calendars, helping early humans track time by how they changed throughout the year. In art and literature, they might have symbolized power, divinity, or destiny. Sailors and travelers may have used them as guides, just as they used the constellations. Even modern science might have been different. If rings had always been a part of Earth's sky, space travel might have developed earlier, driven by humanity's curiosity about the cosmic structures just above. If Earth had rings but they began to fade away, it would be a dramatic shift in our world. Over millions of years, gravitational forces from the Sun and Moon could pull the rings apart, either sending material into space or causing it to fall to Earth like meteor showers. If humans lived during such a time, the ring's disappearance would be a cultural and scientific phenomenon. Artists and historians would document their slow vanishing, and scientists would work to understand what was happening. There might even be efforts to preserve them, either by collecting ring material or studying their remnants. While Earth does not currently have rings, could we gain them someday? It's possible. A future asteroid impact, or the breakup of a large moon or captured space object, could send debris into orbit, creating temporary rings. Scientists might even one day attempt to create artificial rings, perhaps to block sunlight in climate control experiments or as part of space infrastructure. Although unlikely, this concept opens up fascinating possibilities for the future. While Earth doesn't have rings, imagining what they would look like and how they would change our world is an incredible thought experiment. They would shape our climate, culture, and technology in ways we can barely imagine. So next time you gaze up at the night sky, consider the possibilities. Somewhere in the vast universe, another Earth-like planet might exist, one with majestic rings stretching across its heavens. What would life be like there? Would its people look up in wonder, just as we do when we dream of what might have been? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this journey through space, be sure to like and subscribe for more cosmic explorations. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars.